You're listening to the Nikko Daze show, the space where the soft parts of you don't have to hide anymore. Where being tired of pretending is enough reason to stop pretending. I'm your host, Nikko. And before we dive deep, go ahead and follow the show on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and like us on Facebook. New episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. And trust me, you don't want to miss what we unpack here. Today's episode hits different because it's not loud, it's quiet. It's the kind of hurt that creeps in slowly until one day you're sitting at work or school, wondering how long you've been carrying it. Picture this, you're behind a counter. It's your shift at a fast food chain. The headset is tight. You've had 3 hours of sleep. Your manager just barked at you for moving too slow. And the customer in the drive-thru window is rolling their eyes because you forgot the sauce. Again, but what no one knows, not your coworkers, not your team lead, not even the friend you share a shift with, is that this isn't about the sauce. It's about everything. Everything you've been holding, the kind of everything you don't talk about because you don't want to be too much. You're the one people count on, the one who's mature for their age, the one who listens, who gives advice, who stays calm when things fall apart. But lately, you feel like the thing that's falling apart. Your messages go unanswered. You've been canceling plans, not because you're busy, but because you're tired. Like the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix, the kind of tired that feels like grief, even though no one died. You keep showing up though, keep smiling, keep pouring into everyone else like it's your job. Because if you fall apart, who's going to catch them, right? But let me ask you this, who catches you? This episode is for the ones who feel invisible while being everyone's rock. The ones who cry in the shower, then show up 5 minutes later like nothing happened. The ones who wonder if they're only lovable when they're useful. If that's you, you're not alone. Not today, not here, not in the days. Take a breath, let yourself feel that breath. Let it carry you back into your body, even just for this moment. Because we're going to talk about what it really means to be the strong friend, and why sometimes strength is just another word for I haven't been okay for a long time. Stay with me. Let's have the Daze check-in. Wherever you are right now, walking home, lying in bed, maybe wiping down a counter at work with one earbud in, this is your moment. For just a minute or two, don't push it all away. Don't scroll it down. Don't distract yourself from what's happening in you. Let's check in. Let's feel the weight you've been carrying. Picture this scene again. You're at work or school, or even just sitting in your room with a pile of things you said you'd get done today, but didn't. Because truth is, you're tired. You're showing up, but it doesn't feel like you who's showing up anymore. You smile because you have to. You laugh because it makes others comfortable. You give advice like you've got it all figured out. But lately, you've been feeling like a glitch in your own life. Like you're watching yourself from the outside. So, let me ask you, and I mean this slowly, gently. When was the last time you felt seen for who you are, not for what you do? Who checks on you after you've stayed up late, being everyone else's safe space? Have you felt guilty for having needs, like being sad or overwhelmed would somehow burden the people who say they care? When someone asks, "How are you?" do you ever lie and say, "I'm okay"? Because it's easier than explaining what's really going on. And here's a hard one. Have you started believing that you're only valuable when you're helpful? You don't have to answer these out loud. You don't even have to journal them just yet, but let them sit with you. Let them breathe next to your truth. Because the thing about being the strong one is sometimes it's not strength at all. Sometimes it's survival, and survival isn't the same as living. If you've been on autopilot, if your smile has started to feel heavy, if being needed has made you forget what it's like to need someone too, then this is your sign. You're allowed to slow down. You're allowed to fall apart. You're allowed to not be the one holding everyone together. You don't always have to be the sun in someone else's sky. Sometimes you get to be the one who needs a little light too. Let that land Let that be enough for this check-in, because the rest of this episode, it's for you, the quiet part of you, the soft, tired, beautiful, still holding on part of you. Stay with me, we're just getting started. Picture this. I'm standing behind the nurse's station on a quiet night shift. The fluorescent lights buzz above me. The hallways are calm, but my chest, loud, heavy. A patient just passed away an hour ago. We did everything we could, but there are some things you can't reverse. I remember putting on a brave face, comforting the family, giving directions to interns, filing reports. I was the professional, the calm in the chaos. But when I sat down, finally alone for a few minutes, I just stared at the screen. My hands were still, my thoughts weren't. That wasn't the first time I felt like that. Hollow and full at the same time. Let me take you further back. When my dad died, and then not long after, my brother, I remember how people initially responded. The check-ins, the flowers, the I'm here if you need anything. For a while, it felt like I was allowed to grieve. My friends listened, my coworkers gave me space. But grief doesn't come with a schedule. It lingers. It shows up uninvited, at birthday parties, in random songs, during a patient's case that reminds you of your family. And slowly, I realized something. People only have so much capacity. I would try to talk about it again, about how I was struggling, about the weight I couldn't name, and people would either change the subject or go silent. Sometimes they'd say, just focus on the good things, or you're strong, Nikko, you'll get through it. I know they meant well, but that didn't make me feel less alone. It made me feel more like I was becoming a burden, like my feelings were too loud, too repetitive, too much. Eventually, I stopped reaching out altogether. It's the weirdest thing, being surrounded by people who admire your strength, and yet feeling completely unseen. That's part of why I started the Nikko Daze show, because I didn't want anyone else to feel that invisible. I didn't want someone scrolling through their phone at 2 a.m., crying into their pillow, thinking they're the only one who feels this way. I didn't want another strong friend, another quiet fighter to carry all that alone. This show became my letter to you, my voice in the dark, my way of saying, hey, you're not too much, you're just human, and I get it. So yeah, I've been there. I am there sometimes. You can be resilient and still feel empty. You can be reliable and still be tired of it all. You can be the person others lean on and still crave someone to lean on you. And if no one's told you this lately, your pain isn't a burden. Your honesty isn't drama. Your struggle doesn't make you weak. It makes you real. So if you're the strong one in your circle, if you're always okay because you have to be, let me remind you, you don't have to be okay tonight. Not here, not with me. And if you ever feel like your silence is starting to speak louder than your words, that's when it's time to pause, to feel, to heal, and to be heard. We're about to dive deeper into that in the next part. Being the strong friend is a role that often doesn't feel like a choice. It's something we grow into, or get pushed into, or just quietly accept because we're good at keeping it together. We're the ones who always answer the phone, the ones who show up even when we're drained, the ones who hold it down for the group, for the family, for everyone but ourselves. And the scary part is, it becomes your identity. Strong, reliable, unshakable. But strength, real strength, is not about never breaking down. It's not about keeping your feelings in check while everyone else vents. It's not about carrying the emotional weight of a whole room while pretending you're fine. True strength, the kind that heals and sustains you, looks like asking for help even when your voice shakes, letting someone else show up for you, saying, I'm not okay, and allowing that to be enough. You don't owe anyone constant resilience. You don't have to shrink your sadness to make others comfortable. And you don't have to explain why you're tired of being the one who holds it all together. Sometimes, strength looks like softness. Sometimes, it's in the breakdown that you begin to rebuild yourself on your own terms. not as a fixer, not as a foundation, but as a whole person. Let this be the reminder: you deserve the same compassion you give so freely to others. You deserve safe spaces where your sadness doesn't need a filter. You deserve rest, even if no one else says so. And if you've gone quiet lately, not because you're healed, but because you're exhausted, I see you. If your silence is your only cry for help, then this episode is your echo. This is your permission to let go, to fall apart, to not be strong, just for a while. Because strength without rest becomes survival. And you were not born just to survive. You were born to feel, to connect, to live fully, even in your lowest moments. This show, the Nikko Daze Show, will always be your space to do just that. And in the final part of this episode, we'll talk about how to slowly, gently, and without shame begin opening up again. Not to everyone, but maybe just to the people who deserve to see all of you. Let's slow down. Let's take a breath. This part, this moment, is just for you. Take your pen, your notes app, your voice memo, whatever feels safest. Let's ask the kind of questions most people forget to ask you. Here's your journal prompt. If I stopped being the strong one for just one day, what would I need? Let the answer come naturally. Would you need sleep? Would you want someone to hold space for your tears without asking why? Would you crave silence or softness? Or just someone to notice that you're not okay? And then ask yourself, who have I been hiding my pain from, and why? Is it fear of being a burden? Fear of being seen as weak? Or maybe you've just been doing it for so long, you don't even know how to start opening up anymore. And lastly, what does being okay even mean to me when no one else is watching? Write until your hands or your heart says stop. No edits, no shame. Let yourself be honest, even if it's messy, because you, strong friend, deserve a place where you don't have to explain your sadness. This prompt is not about fixing, it's about feeling. It's about reclaiming your space in your own story. If you made it to the end of this episode, I just want to say thank you, not just for listening, but for allowing yourself to feel even just a little. Because I know being the strong friend isn't always a choice. Sometimes it's a survival instinct. Sometimes it's all you've ever known. But please remember this: you are not less worthy of love when you're not holding everyone else together. You are not less valuable when you're tired, when you cry, when you don't have the answers. You are allowed to be held, too. I made this episode as a soft landing for people like you, the ones who hold space for everyone but themselves. And I hope, even just for a moment, you felt like you didn't have to carry it all alone. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who might need it too. And don't forget to follow the show on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and like us on Facebook. We drop new episodes every Wednesday and Saturday, and sometimes a little extra in between. This space, it's always open for you. Until next time, see you in the days. Love, Nikko.